Entertainment, a lot of singing, a lot of talent among the children in the school.
Yeah, it's quite an interesting phenomenon. I mean, how and think about it, at that age to go up and perform in front of a room full of people takes a certain amount of confidence that I'm glad to see these kids possess.
You and I share notes sometimes about our kind of shared experiences when we were kids, and I don't remember anything like this going on when you and I were in school, Tom.
Exactly. Well, here we go at the fashion show. You can see the clothes, these beautiful dresses were donated by a local dress shop. Very proud of these kids, and the parents did a great job, and PTA certainly, as always, deserves a lot of credit for putting this together.
And I'll tell you right now, I never took part in a fashion show when I was in elementary school. Again, the opportunities that kids have today, it's quite a lot different, and that's a good thing. It's a good thing because these kids are getting opportunities to do things that they're going to be taking with them, on as they continue to progress through the educational system, and then give them a confidence that maybe it would have been a nice thing for us to have been able to have as we got out of school. I know I didn't have it. I'm still sometimes a bit of a wallflower, if you might find that hard to believe. I don't know. But it's really good opportunities for the kids today.
No, it works. I agree. It's a rounding process for the students. It's not only the classroom. It's what you can do when you're out of the classroom, and we saw what these young people are able to do, and it's very heartening.
I mentioned the kids groups that come to Albany. It seems like a steady stream of buses coming up from Long Island here to Albany to see the Capitol building. Let's take a look at one such group as it made its way through the State Assembly chamber, here getting their picture taken on the steps of the Legislative Office building. These are kids from the Clara H. Carlson School.
Very nice school. It's part of my Mentors and Leaders program. We're up to some 8,000 children that have made the trip during my tenure as Assemblyman. The principal at Clara Carlson is Ken Rosner. He's doing a good job there. We held a town hall meeting with my colleague Senator Skelos, which was great. They get on a nice tour of the Capitol. They have a special lunch. And then they go on a tour of the museum, which, as you know, Mike, is a beautiful facility we have here in the Capitol.
What kinds of things when you're addressing the kids when they're up here in Albany, Tom? What sorts of things are you telling them?
We talk about the legislative process, just so that they understand that fundamentally. How a bill becomes a law, the role of the Senate, the Assembly, and the governor, the veto process when it exists. We also talk about the school budget because it's so important for them to understand that we fight so hard to maintain our fair share for state education dollars, and we've been quite successful during my tenure in securing these necessary funds for their schools. And we also talk about constituent service, that kind of demystify what an elected official is, so that they know they can call upon us at any time to aid and assist them or their families. And that's something important for them to know. There's our great Senator Dean Skelos.
And I would think the idea of service is always a good thing for the kids to be hearing about anyway. We were talking earlier about the opportunities they have, and I think we just cut to lunchtime here in Albany. But, the idea of the opportunities that the kids have, it's also a good idea to be putting in their thoughts the ideas of service to the community.
No question, and they, I think they get it. When they leave, they seem to have a heightened awareness of who elected officials are, what our function in society is, and as citizens, they're responsible to be smart citizens, to know who their officials are, to make informed decisions as future voters, and I think it's a great socialization technique, and I applaud the schools, districts for accepting the grant and doing this program. I think it's magnificent. I think it should be extended throughout the state, and I've told my colleagues, there are no secrets here. I've urged my colleagues to make these programs available to their own students.
And it's something that obviously is working because you're seeing a captive audience of young minds who are ready to take in those ideas of service and those ideas of how state government works. And I like the way you put it, demystifying the role of a public official, because it's not something that they should be stand back and being in awe of. This is something that they should understand and know how to use that resource and maybe consider that kind of public service for their own careers.
Yeah, no question. I tell them that regardless of what business they get into in their lives or what field or profession they get into in their lives, knowing people in government is a massive advantage, and it's an advantage that is open to all Americans, and it's just the ones who are wise enough and shrewd enough to get to know who their elected officials are and have a dialogue and I think it makes a difference in every facet of life.
Now, here's an exciting thing. You and I like to talk sports on a regular occasion, and the New York Daily News recently at the Golden Gloves competition, Duracell packs big knockout punch, and in fact, we're going to look at some footage of a local boy who's making good right now. Tell us a little bit about this young man.
No doubt. Hervé Duracell, he is a great friend from the Elmont community. They call him the Haitian Sensation, and you'll see why he's a star in the ring as you watch this clip. He's a graduate of Elmont Memorial High School. He's about to get married to his fiancée, Natalie, who also comes from the Elmont community. And this is a Daily News Golden Gloves battle we're watching here on the tape. And he's fought several bouts, Hervé, and the Daily News has written several articles about him.
This is
Whoa.
I guess now we know why he's the Haitian Sensation,
that's right? That's right. He knocked that guy down. He's from Trinity, British Columbia, that gentleman. And he did a lot of good
guy
work.
looks a lot bigger than him, too. I don't know. I guess there's some art or science to that I don't understand. But
he won the Boxer of the Night award that night. I'm really proud of him. He's a really good civic-minded young man who is quite good, as you can see.
And again, that's got to be just a good thing for the community, where they can know that they've got, again, talent. We've seen so much talent as we've done these shows in the Elmont community. I think of recently we saw that young fella Ian Furtado receive the Martin Luther King Award and the address that he gave, and now we're seeing talents of a different kind, but somebody who is obviously a young man who is dedicated to what he is doing and is willing to put out the extra effort and commitment to get that done.
No doubt. I mean, he's a tenacious human being, and he's a very articulate young man. He's got a lot of personality. He really is unique. Wow, this is something, am I?
Absolutely. I think he just realized that that's done. His business there is done for the day.
Yep. There's no doubt about that decision.
That's just terrific, and you can see why the New York Daily News is picking up on this young man and following his career, and is going to be very exciting to see just how that career translates out over the next several months and years as he continues on his boxing career. Very, very exciting for the community. Now, as we move on here on this program, we're going to be looking at talents of a different sort. This is another one of the big productions to come out of the Elmont schools. This is the high school production of Les Miserables, and just that seems daunting enough, because I know how big a show this is and how much production goes into it, and I think you folks are going to be completely wowed with the video clips that we're going to be showing you right now. Tom Alfano, tell us about this production.
Yeah, this was long anticipated. This particular class had many stars in it. It was a great production. It was the first opera-like musical the high school has performed locally, and it was done to perfection. It really was.
It's nice. We left some of the names up there, the credits, so you can see some of the children who were involved in the making of this production. And look at the costumes, look at the props and all that's going on here, the lighting, just fabulous. And these are just top-notch productions that are turned out year after year. I remember seeing the clips of the production Aida that you were kind enough to bring us about a year or so ago.
Yeah, you see in the clip, all of the performers, they were fantastic, all students, and Eileen Kramer did her usual phenomenal job as director. Every night it was sold out. It was a magnificent event, and the lead was played by my good friend, a former intern, Ian Furtado, who played the infamous Jean Valjean to perfection.
Why am I not surprised? I was just mentioning Ian Furtado a couple minutes ago, and he was the lead, and this is something that could be clips of a Broadway show that I'm looking at right here. No two ways about it.
Just phenomenally done. I tell you, a lot of talent in the schools. It's amazing to me.
And let's not forget the adults that help bring that all together, too. You've got Eileen Kramer, who was the director of the show, but so many other adults that go into the music and the staging and the costumes, and get the kids involved and help make them part of that team effort that makes a production like that possible. You used the phrase mentors and leaders earlier on. It's not just true of